What's up, everyone? Rachel West, Mark Topkin, and John Romano here. And guys, the Rays' sister city plan officially dead, being killed by the MLB. Mark, the Rays were all in on this. I think it was plans A through Z for them for their new stadium coming up here. They really thought it was going to happen. So what went wrong in the end?
Yeah, Rachel, I mean, the Rays were definitely in the minority in that they truly believed this plan was going to work. A lot of fans obviously were very skeptical. A lot of people around baseball, around the Tampa Bay area were skeptical. But the Rays were very much all in on this. And Stu Sternberg even said in his media session that, there's not many things he goes all in on. In fact, every trade deadline, he says he's never going to go all in. But he was in on this. They really thought it was going to happen. And they were surprised how it ended because there's kind of four parts to this puzzle: MLB approval, the kind of parallel tracks to get new stadiums built in both cities with all the different municipal approvals that would be necessary. Obviously, in Canada as well, adding that layer to it. And then the players union, they have to work something out with the players union. They thought MLB approval was the easiest part, and it turned out they never got past door number one.
Yeah, and John, so now that this idea is definitely dead, all the fans are saying, move the team to Tampa, build a stadium in Tampa. So what is it going to take to get this team to finally do that and build a stadium in Tampa?
Well, it's going to take a boatload of money, Rachel. They talked about this 3 years ago, 2017, 2018. That was the idea, was to build a new stadium, a dome stadium in Ybor City. It was, at that time, it was going to cost about $900 million. The city and the county wanted the Rays to pay for about half of it. The Rays were not willing to pony up the $450 million. They said that was too much money and it would handicap them. It would keep their payrolls low. It wouldn't be worth building the stadium for them. And the city and county wasn't even sure if they could come up with the $450 million on their part of it. So that deal died long before it got any legs under it. Now, today, 3 years later, the Rangers built a stadium, a dome stadium that cost $1.2 billion. So that's probably the price tag you're looking at if you're going to have a roof on the stadium. So somebody's going to have to come up with an awful lot of money to get this thing going.
$1.2 billion? That's pocket change.
You're good for $20, right?
Oh, absolutely. Count me in for sure. Mark, so looking at it from another angle here, up in Montreal, they were hopeful that this deal was going to come through. They were going to be getting a team part-time. Now it's not happening. So what's the mood up there like?
First of all, I do want to point out $1.2 billion is what we would refer to as Romano money. They're upset in Montreal too, and Stephen Brofman, the head of their group, did a media call as well, and got asked repeatedly, how do you feel? He just pointed. He said it feels like a bloody eulogy, and I think that's kind of how they took it, because this was really their hope to get back in the game. I don't know that they feel like they can compete for an expansion team if and when MLB opens an expansion auction. That team itself might cost over $1 billion, plus you have to build a stadium. So this was a lot cheaper way for them to get back in the game. They had the Expos. They left after the 2004 season with attendance issues. And I think they saw this as the perfect fit. They were very excited to partner with the Rays, and they were crushed when they got the news as well. And, if you could even argue, maybe the Rays and Tampa Bay are in a better position than Montreal is now to still end up with full-time baseball.
Definitely a bummer for them up there. Meanwhile, fans down here, very excited, although that excitement might die out quickly if, John, relocation becomes a possibility. What are the chances that the team might end up moving completely out of the Tampa Bay market?
Well, in the short term, that's not a concern. They're still tied to Tropicana Field through the end of the 2027 season with their lease at that stadium. But beyond that, it's a very real possibility. I mean, Major League Baseball hasn't had a lot of relocation in the last 50 years. The Montreal Expos were the only team that has left. But you have seen relocation in the NFL, in the NBA, in the NHL. If a deal cannot be made here, and if there's a city out there, if there's a Nashville, if there's a Charlotte, a San Antonio that's willing to put down the kind of money it takes to build a nice stadium, I think Sternberg's going to have to listen to him if nothing is happening in Tampa Bay in the next few years.
Well, this has definitely been an interesting development in all of this here today. Everyone, make sure you're following with us for further developments over on social media at Sports by Tampa Bay Times, as well as all of our Rays coverage that we have for you over at tampabay.com.